Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan. It's Sunday the 11th of April. How in the world are you doing? Hope your weekend's going great. Here to talk with you a little bit about the Miami Heat as they prepare for a key 4-game road trip. That's not going to be easy, guys, especially without Victor Oladipo. As we all know, he injured his knee the other night against the Lakers, so his status remains questionable beyond those 4 games. We just have to stay patient, hope for the best as far as that's concerned. But we're going to talk some Heat. I got some things up here on the snippets board, some topics that I want to discuss. Before I get started, if you do like the content of this particular video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. That would be awesome for the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Also consider subscribing to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan, and hitting that notification bell for future videos as well. So let's get going, guys. This video, I'm not going to be touching on any game in particular as I normally would as part of an update. I'm basically looking at the big picture for the short term mainly, a little bit for the long term also, as we are, of course, still hoping the Heat will make the playoffs. It looks like they will, but we have to wait and see on that. And really am focusing in on these next 4 games on the road, and I put up the number 240, and you're probably sitting there going, what the heck is that all about? What does 240 mean? Well, I'm going to explain that to you, and how that 240 number is very significant as we move really into these last 20 games of the regular season. Don't forget, regular season this year is not 82 games, it's 72 games. 240 represents the number of minutes that can be dispersed in terms of playing time in an NBA game. That's what we're looking at, guys. Just like if every player in the starting 5, if all 5 players were to play 48 minutes, which of course we never see. I mean, that means the team would be not using its bench at all. You just don't see that in the NBA, or really, you don't see that at any level, on any level of basketball, really, unless you're playing pickup basketball. They would total 240 minutes. So the Heat are fortunate to have a coach in Erik Spoelstra, who of course has always been very good at dispersing minutes and working with his bench. He's very good at that. And Erik Spoelstra is a really good coach, NBA coach. Heat fans are obviously glad to have him. Certainly don't really hear any Heat fans complaining, and if they are, I'm not hearing it. So we can certainly count on a good disbursement of minutes from our head coach, Erik Spoelstra. But I did a little bit of an exercise that I want to share with you, a hypothetical, right, with the quotes, hypothetical exercise where I'm just giving out minutes, and then I'm going to explain, and this is without Victor Oladipo in the lineup, and then I'm going to explain how many minutes we have left and who would get those minutes we are hoping, or we would imagine, right, moving forward. I wrote the word small down here on the snippets board as number 2 because that's a key component as well. And when I say small, a lot of this depends on, and I hear the comments, and I've seen a few comments on my videos, one in particular a few days back, where there's concern over the big men, and can the Heat compete with the better teams inside? And I understand that. I've thought that myself, and I've pointed to Precious Achiuwa as a key part of that, hopefully, moving forward. But let's go back to point number 2, the word small. Here's what I'm getting at, guys. The big question that comes into play is how small are the Heat willing to go? Because the Heat, if you notice, especially check out that game against the Lakers, the Heat will go small and stay small for extended periods. Now, the Heat are not the only team in the NBA to do this. Some teams, many teams in the NBA in 2021 and over the past few years, easily, past handful of years, are more likely to play small, but the Heat, and there are other teams out there like this, they play small for extended periods. Let me illustrate what I mean a little bit further. If you look at that game against the Lakers, the bench players for the Heat were Tyler Hero, Goran Dragic. Those are guards, right? Iguodala, basically a small forward. Precious Achiuwa, okay, that's a bigger guy. And Bjelica. Okay, now Precious Achiuwa scores 7 points. Bjelica doesn't score. Andre Iguodala doesn't score. So you got 7 points off your bench from bigger players. That's it. Dragic and Hero combined for 25. Bam gets 13. That's really it as far as the interior. So in terms of scoring, the Heat really don't count on much, it seems. Inside, it was good enough to beat the Lakers without LeBron and without Anthony Davis. But at some point, and it's not just scoring, of course, it's rebounding too. The Heat leader in rebounds in that game against the Lakers was Jimmy Butler and Bam each had 7. Okay, that's it. They led the team in rebounding. That's it, guys. Jimmy Butler and Bam each had 7. Bam is your leading rebounder. Okay, but the Heat are obviously not one of these teams that come at you with big guy after big guy after big guy. Some teams do. The Heat don't do that. That's just not them. That's not their makeup. And during the trading period, they did not look to go in that direction either, obviously, with the Oladipo acquisition. Now, of course, the Heat, now looking at the big picture, lost Kelly Olynyk. That's a key component. That's a key piece to the Heat's success last season. What have they done? Okay, well, one of the guys they pick up is Bjelica, Nemanja Bjelica from the Sacramento Kings, who has a nice offensive game. Didn't do much against the Lakers, but in the previous few contests since coming over to the Heat, he played pretty well, was scoring right around 10 points a game. He should be able to get you 10 or 12 points per game, assuming that he gets the playing time, and he'll get you a good 6 or 7 rebounds, guys. He can rebound. He's 6'10". He's 6'10". I like his game. He's got a lot of range. He can hit from well behind the three-point arc, can put the ball on the floor very well for a 6'10" guy. He's a good offensive player. He could play, he could score. He's a good guy to have off your bench. If you notice, the Heat like to provide a lot of scoring punch off the bench. I love that particular strategy. You got Tyler Hero coming off the bench. You got Dragic coming off the bench. You got a lot of scoring off that Heat bench, and that is key. All right, so really a big question is, how small are the Heat going to go? Now, in this quick exercise, I just want to read to you hypothetical playing time. This is without Victor Oladipo, and you will basically, I want to help you guys understand that 240 number is not easy to work with. If we were to provide the following minutes for these players, Bjelica, 25 minutes. Dragic off the bench, let's say he gets 25 minutes. These are, again, all hypothetical. We give Bam 33 minutes. I'm going to give Hero 25. Duncan Robinson, I'm going to give 27. I'm going to give 20 for Andre Iguodala. That's usually what he gets, sometimes a little more. And Butler, Jimmy Butler, we're going to give him kind of modest 33 minutes. If I were to give all those minutes to those players in a game, I'm at a roughly 186 minutes. I only have 54 minutes left to give out for playing time, guys. So here's what I was thinking. If Trevor Ariza plays 20 minutes, now I'm down to 34 minutes between Kendrick Nunn, KN, item number 3 on the snippets board, and Precious Achiuwa. If that were all to play out. Now, I know Trevor Ariza starts now. I'm cool with that. It's kind of like Andre Iguodala guys, but starting, the veteran, the guy that's been in the league for a long time. He might give you a little bit more scoring than Iguodala, although Iguodala can hit when he's on with his threes. He could score points too. If we were to give Trevor Ariza 20 minutes, maybe play him 17 or 18, free up a little more time. But the minutes are tight. So in this example, I gave 20 minutes to Kendrick Nunn because we're going to need his scoring. He's got to get in there. Guys, Kendrick Nunn. Let's hold that thought for a second. And then using this exercise for the 240, I'm only down to about 14 minutes. Now I see why it gets so difficult with Precious. So items 3 and 4 do tie in with one another. They do tie in with one another. Why it's so difficult to get these guys playing time, I would love to see Precious get more playing time, and I would love to see Kendrick Nunn get more playing time. Those are the two key guys when it comes to playing time, guys, that I would like to see, in other words. I would like to see Precious get a little bit more time, and we got to get Kendrick Nunn. Here's the thing real quick on Kendrick Nunn. He had a good rookie year last year. It's got to be something on the defensive end that the Heat coaches and the management staff is just not 100% excited about. Because we're seeing games, or we were seeing games, especially when Oladipo came on board, where he's able to play. He just doesn't play. In the case of the Laker game, he didn't play at all. He didn't even get off the bench. Got to get him involved on this road trip. Got to. And Precious, we got to... Forget about the whole thing, well, he's really young. I understand that, and that's important. Well, he's kind of a project. Okay, I'm not even thinking of that right now. I'm thinking more in terms of helping the Heat, with 20 games left in the regular season, get a decent seed for the playoffs, and more importantly, moving into the playoffs, the Heat are going to need Precious Achiuwa on the floor. Now, we don't have to give him 25, 30 minutes. I'm not saying that. He only played 9 minutes against the Lakers. That's it. He still got 7 points. What did he get? How many rebounds? Precious. 7 points, 5 rebounds in 9 minutes. That's tremendous. Now, he doesn't always do that in that limited time. But he's producing. That should tell us. This guy's going out there. He also had, it was kind of funny, he had like 4 fouls. So he was doing a little bit of everything. He was out there. He was playing. He was getting in that box score. That's for sure. That's for sure. So these are my two. In the next 4 games on this road trip, let's focus on, is he getting time, which he should be? And what's Precious? What type of activity are we getting out of him in terms of playing time? These are the 2 key guys, in my opinion. I close out with the word Goran, which of course stands for Goran Dragic. As I end this video, guys, here's the deal with Goran Dragic. The Heat are obviously a better team with Goran Dragic on the roster. He's had a tremendous career. Remember, he's been an all-star in years past. He's had a very good career. He's still a very good player. It's just that, here's the catch. We just don't know at this stage in his career when he's going to be able to play in terms of health. If he's going to be injured, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? There's been an obvious pattern of that happening, especially as we go back to postseason last year, and time again throughout the course of the first 52 games of this season. The Heat are obviously a better team with Goran in the lineup, but again, closing out, knowing that we're a better team with him in the lineup or with him coming off the bench, will he be there? Okay, in other words, is he going to stay healthy for the rest of the season? Because if the answer is a no, or if he's missing time, especially as we head into the playoffs, either you got to get... So here's what I'm getting at too, guys. Even if Oladipo, we catch a break, he's back really soon, okay, we still got to get Kendrick Nunn minutes to get him in the rhythm, because we simply do not know what in the world's going to happen with Goran day after day, week after week at this stage in his career. So leave me some comments below on what you think about that, please. And this is all interesting stuff. Game is tonight, Sunday actually, the 11th. Don't forget, it's a late start, 10 p.m. Eastern in Portland against the Trailblazers. This is Dennis Sullivan saying, I will see you, yes you, very soon. Bye for now.